Good afternoon, nights, or morning, or noon. Time doesn't exist anymore. I'm Bella Rodriguez, and you're watching Night TV. Alright, let's begin with what has been on our seniors' minds lately. Graduation. I'm so glad to share that it's actually happening on May 29th at 1 p.m. at the Toyota Stadium. But what I find interesting is how it's going to actually go down. FISD will have to follow Governor Abbott's guidelines and the Texas Education Association Commissioner's guidelines for us Knights to remain safe. And if you haven't already, make sure you check your emails from the district. But are you familiar with what our state's new protocols actually are? Well, here's a little update from me about our county situation. Since May 1st, stores, restaurants, and movie theaters and other non-essential businesses have opened. As long as they maintain only a 25% occupancy and follow social distancing, people are allowed to receive these services. Under those guidelines, malls can also open. However, currently, food courts, play areas, and interactive displays must remain closed to prevent viral spread. Here in Collin, there have been 27 deaths related to the disease in the county. Health officials reported 30 new cases on Friday, May 8th, which has brought the total confirmed cases here in Collin County to 887 individuals. Remember to protect yourself. The CDC recommends to wear facial coverings, wash your hands often, and disinfect surfaces in your home. That was this week's COVID update. Now, moving on from the virus, how about we go to Vinny, Kevin, and Shakar with their latest episode of It's Complicated.
Welcome everyone to It's Complicated. I'm Vinny Mulapoli alongside Kevin Bosker and Shakar Pinham. How are we, guys?
Doing good.
Doing great.
Well, let's switch it up a little this week. Heading into this off-season, who do you guys see as the biggest threat? Kevin, what do you think?
A lot of people are going to say that Kansas City Chiefs team is going to be suffering from a Super Bowl hangover. I think not. That team was a great team, explosive offense in almost any perspective possible. Patrick Mahomes, we all know what he's capable of, just an MVP caliber player himself. And the weapons he has surrounded with him, Tyree Hill, Travis Kelce, and so much more, that offense is literally lethal, and almost every defense should be afraid of them. And they show no signs of slowing down in any way. So I can see the Chiefs making another run to the Super Bowl this season.
Well, Shakar, who's your pick?
Well, I've got to say, we wouldn't be talking about the Kansas City Chiefs as they are if it not for the San Francisco 49ers collapse last year. Let's make this clear. San Francisco 49ers were the best team throughout the regular season last year. And they contained Patrick Mahomes. Remember, he had 2 interceptions in that Super Bowl until that fourth quarter run. They had a 14-point lead heading into that fourth quarter, and Kyle Shanahan refused to run the ball again. And Jimmy Garoppolo just wasn't able to deliver that pass to Emmanuel Sanders. Were it not for those two things, and Kyle Shanahan not running the ball was a big, big thing, Kansas City Chiefs would not be Super Bowl champions. They would not receive the applause that they have right now, and we'd have questions over Patrick Mahomes, whether he could perform in the clutch. So I think, and they've only lost to Forrest Buckner and Emmanuel Sanders. But the thing that makes San Francisco special is the scheme. They can plug in any players, and it's the scheme that makes everything work. Hence, Deebo Samuel and Raheem Mostert, players that you didn't know about, but all of a sudden were superstars.
Well, speaking of great players, let's decide who's the best non-QB player. Shakar, in your opinion, who deserves this title?
I think it's going to have to be, for me, the greatest defensive player of all time, the legendary New York Giants linebacker, Lawrence Taylor. I mean, this man made 2 positions famous in the NFL. The linebacker position where he played, as well as the left tackle. And Kevin, you know this as much as I do. Most quarterbacks are right-handed, and the left tackle represents their blind spot. And LT went for that left tackle. So if you didn't have a left tackle, that's it. It was game over because LT was going to wreak havoc on you. Quarterbacks couldn't even really look down keep concentration down the field without looking for him because they were that petrified of this man. He revolutionized the game, and quite honestly, ask any defensive player who they think is the best defensive player. They say Lawrence Taylor by a mile.
Lawrence Taylor is pretty great. I mean, there's no denying that. But I got to make a case for Jerry Rice because he, in my opinion, is the most lethal offensive player that is not a QB, obviously, to ever grace the game. Larry Fitzgerald, in terms of receiving yards, there's like about a 4,000 yard difference in just receiving itself. He played in the NFL for about 20 years, and he was nothing but consistent, and he always delivered whenever San Francisco needed him. Like, he was on so many different teams, so many different Super Bowl teams that just kept winning and winning. And literally, I mean, if any receiver were up to look up to a receiver, it would be Jerry Rice, because that's how much he revolutionized that wide receiver position compared to any other player to ever speak the game.
Well, that's all the time we have for this week's edition of It's Complicated. Thank you for watching, and tune in soon for more.
I'm not even going to pretend I know what they're talking about. Anyway, seniors, our material exchange will be Thursday, May 14th. You must return all school-issued items and textbooks. And us seniors will also be receiving our cords, stoles, keychains, and medals. And based on your last name, you have a designated time to arrive. And please stick to this because I don't know about y'all, but I want to avoid long lines. From names A through H, it is going to be from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. From I to Q, it's going to be 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And from R through Z, it's going to be 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Well, that is all I have for you today, Knights. I'm Bella Rodriguez. Stay safe and remember to keep it noble, Knights.